called Apparatus Media Lab, predominantly doing user experience design. And we got acquired by Ogilvy about 2 years back, and I've been in Ogilvy. So this talk is largely about me moving into an extremely large enterprise. I don't know whether I'm comfortable or not about, but you know, let's just stick with me. I'll try and make it as painless as possible. So I mean, you can say that I'm working in a silver mining spaceship. You'll get the entire deal as we go through the presentation. What I've tried is I've actually tried to mesh a lot of connections that has happened over this period of me running user experience design company and plus me working in a large enterprise. So let's start with this stuff, right? I turned 47 2 days back. So thank you. So thank you. So now it's out in the open, so you can't. So I turned 47 2 days back, and as a grim reminder of the kind of domain that I work in and those fancy 100 loyalty programs that you don't want to be a part of, but you are a part of anyway, I got one mail from Weston which said, Mr. Kobayashi. Okay, so I mean, I work in this domain, so it's funny. I work in this domain, but I'm trying to, just stick with me, I'm trying to kind of do a link which is interesting, right? So it actually said Mr. Kobayashi. I'm reading a symbol here. I want to walk you through this concept called as Kobayashi Maru. It's a Star Trek concept, right? As something called as a Kobayashi Maru is a Starfleet simulation test. It's actually, people are supposed to go through the test to become a captain in a large ship. So there is this test that is actually about saving a ship called Kobayashi Maru from this characters called Klingons, right? And the test is designed in such a way that you try to save the ship and you will fail. You will surely fail. All the spandex and everything and the metal and everything will burn. So you cannot do it. So it's actually equivalent to something called as a no-win situation. So used as a symbol, that's a no-win situation. So constantly, I feel like that when I'm in an extremely large enterprise, which is a traditional advertising company, trying to steer it slowly towards what's called as digital, and trying to save it. And a traditional advertising company is a lot like a big spaceship. There is a bunch of things that are broken into account servicing, creative, planning, and stuff like that. And to actually steer it towards something which has technologists, project managements, digital labs that think of new ideas, it is difficult. So we used to be in a much smaller ship. We used to, you know, we used to wear weird things at work, just like in Star Trek. So this is like photos from a bad day, December in Apparatus earlier, where we used to have fun in the office and stuff like that. And at some point of time, we got pulled into this large organization called as Ogilvy. And the reasons that they told me was that, one, you'll have good money. Second, you'll have a lot of fame. And third, you will be a part of an extremely large network, right? I mean, I still believe that this is true, but then the reason that we went for is because of two things. One is I could drink scotch, and two is that I can smoke during daytime in the office. But apparently, it wasn't true when I went there. Alcohol is prohibited, number one. And number two is that if I got to smoke, I've got to walk an extremely long distance to smoke. That's about 3 miles or so. So anyway, when you reach the place where you smoke, there is always this young and inquiring mind that will ask you, that's the no smoking piece. The young and inquiring mind that will ask you questions like, what is digital marketing? So now, the trouble is that I've been trying to solve this for myself, because I came from one small part of it, which is called user experience design, but we had to actually look at this large playing field called as digital marketing. And I thought I should first go to the know-all place that everybody goes to, Wikipedia. So, but then the trouble with Wikipedia is that it just gives a bizarre list of things which is construed in one prose, which eventually does not give you a framework. I was searching for a framework. So can I actually make this into a framework? Was the search that I was trying to do, during this process, right? So I did try it. So just, again, we are getting a little serious here, so stick with me. Let's look at just the kind of channels that we have in the digital media, right? We've got web. I mean, so I know I'm breaking the stuff down tightly, but web, when I say web, I'm talking about web content and everything on the web. So there is web. e-commerce is also part of the web, but I'm calling it separately because the behavior is different in an e-commerce. So there's web, there is e-commerce, there is mobile, there is social and advertising. You can broadly call these as channels. I mean, don't shoot me down if I missed anything, but it's a framework. Bear with me. So web, e-commerce, mobile, social and advertising. And actually, one of the stuff that I realized over a bunch of work that we have done is that there are probably 3 kinds of assets that we do. That is the base assets that we do is core brand assets. Like it has got a long duration. It actually exists for an extremely long duration. Like a good example would be a website, a simple brand website that you do. The second type of assets that we do is gateways. Like for example, a Diwali sale site over a Flipkart would be a perfect gateway site. Like you actually compile something together and put it one level up, right? And then there is something called campaigns, which is broadly about doing banners and, you know, the Kobayashi mail that came to me, that similar kind of stuff that will pull people to see all this. That's broadly where we are. So actually, I tried to put that channel palette and this campaigns, gateways, and core brand assets one on top of the other. It gets pretty complex, but it looks like this, right? I had to simplify this in some way, but if you actually look at this from bottom to top, you will see there's at the bottom on web, there is brand content, there is an online store in e-commerce, responsive in mobile, or social assets in social, and so on. It kind of goes up to become a campaign by itself. But what I thought was that I'll compile this tightly and kind of make it easier so that every strategist and every designer can put it up on the wall or put it up on the softboard, and I kind of converted quickly into a periodic table looking thing. It's not a periodic table. But so I also actually divided this stuff in between the offline and the online so that you actually have on the left this entire piece of websites, commerce, mobile, social, and advertising. And the offline has got activation, shopper, print and TV, where you can actually bring people from the top towards the bottom to actually see or understand the brand or buy things online. So that's broadly what the framework is all about. I can actually talk much more about the framework when we meet later, but that's what it is all about. I'm going to actually walk you through one case study that we have done. We worked with Ogilvy New York on this, and once that is gone through, we'll go back to this framework and see what of that has been used.
8 out of 10 kids don't get enough veggies. 10 out of 10 adults want to change that. As America's #1 pasta sauce and all-time kids' favorite, we had to help. The challenge? Sales were declining and consumers saw us as junk in a jar. So we went on a mission to change all that. Ragu started by making a sauce with 2 servings of veggies in every half cup. A sauce with a taste kids love. A sauce moms can feel good about serving. And we didn't stop there. We knew moms were bombarded with advice and instruction from just about everyone on how to feed their kids well. We decided it was time to turn the tables and ask, what do real moms have to say? So we created Mom's the Word on Dinner. Real moms, real conversation about what really happens at dinner time.
Sit down. Sit in your chair. Sit in your chair like a regular person.
Yeah, anarchy will not be tolerated.
If you don't eat, Santa doesn't come.
A program featuring real mom bloggers as social catalysts in an original 20-episode web series, uniting real moms to learn, laugh, and share. From veggies to manners, odd eating habits to mealtime memories, we're laying it all on the table.
This was a really helpful conversation for me because now I have a lot more ideas about how to get my kids to eat more veggies.
How did we do it? Search intent modeling and social listening informed topics. Inspiring original webisodes that brought these topics to life. Inviting moms to join the conversation. Get great tips and ideas. As an incentive, we offered a trip to New York.
I learned about the contest, Mom's the Word on Dinner, and I decided let's give it a shot. And here we are. I won.
To bring new moms to the conversation, we leveraged display advertising and PR.
I am so excited to be teaming up with Ragu.
Organic and paid search, and video distribution.
Like there's a ragu recipe for baked pasta primavera casserole. Sounds delicious. And this is a great recipe for getting your kids involved.
And while the conversation is growing, perceptions are changing, making Ragu Mom's trusted ally on her mission to feed her kids well.
Okay, now I'm hungry. Anyone else?
So that's the case study that I wanted to present. Let's go back quickly to this stuff that we've actually, what have they done in the user journey? So you can see that there is surely an offline part to it, which is a print and TV stuff. There is advertisements, which is online. There is the entire social piece, which is a pillar. So there's an engagement piece. There are conversations. There are profiles that has been created. There's a microsite that is pulling all this stuff together. And there is surely a website that is sitting behind it. This is one possible way of explaining how this entire framework works. So what we are trying to do is reversing this stuff, that when a brief comes, can we actually look at the framework and see what all can we do to create something worthwhile. Apparently, you can create platform ideas, which is very large, and not necessarily 3 banners or 1 campaign out of this stuff, but a large digital thing which we were doing earlier, which is the base part, which is about user experience design and and campaigns that include banners and emailers, like the one which went to Mr. Kobayashi. So given that's the story, the reason for doing platform stuff is apparently because you can win awards. So they also say if you want to win awards, you aim at a gold and you just might get a silver. Incidentally, the atomic number of silver is 47. I turned 47 2 days back. Thank you. Thank you.